I'm SoloCelo, and you are watching You Are Chicago. Slap.
My jeans, yup, 100 on my briefs, yup, 100 on my teeth, yup, 100 on my dues, yup, 100 on my shoes, yup, 100 on her ass, she dropped 100 on her boobs, yup, I spent 100 on my jeans, yup, 100 on my briefs, yup.
So I'm in an artist collective called ETP, Exit the Premises, and we started off like in 2017, like officially. And so last year, 2 years ago, we went to South by Southwest, and it was the craziest experience ever. And there's a bunch of stories within that too. I mean, we met, so many artists. We met Coach K, who owns QC, the label. We also met our friend Johnny Oz, who is down with like members only and stuff. And basically, we got cool with him, and he has shows all over the place. He has like 100K on Instagram, so he's kind of famous, and so he does shows all over the place. And he hit us one day, and he was like, "Yo, I'm gonna have a show in St. Louis. I know it's not really Chicago, but can you make it?" And the very next day, we got the hotel, and we drove actually. And we drove all the way to St. Louis. It was like a 4.5, 5-hour drive. It was pretty decent though. And then it was really fun because the hotel was dope, but also like the whole experience of being in an actual show, because all the shows before that we've put together ourselves. And so we got backstage. It was dope, It was some Henny, it was some backwoods. We were bulling, chilling. And then he goes on stage. We're going crazy. And let me tell you, bro, my name isn't even on the flyer. I don't even have a microphone in my hand. But when I go to the crowd, like the little gate where the crowd like stops, when I go in there and I'm standing on there, it's like girls trying to take my shirt off, and like they're pulling me into the crowd. I'm like, damn, I haven't even said a word. Like, god damn. But it was a really dope experience just to like feel all that and that like superstar energy. And after his set, after his last song, he was like, "Hey, I'm throwing an after party, meet me in the back." And he just picked out like the baddest girls out of the crowd and brought them backstage. And so, again with the Henny, again with the Woods. Who is SoloCelo? I feel like SoloCelo is someone who wants to bridge gaps between things and people and industries and everything. I'm really all over the place in terms of like what I'm interested in and what I'm good at. Like I'm really good at writing, I'm really good at recording, but I love acting, and I also love fashion, and I also love, game design, and I also love architecture, and I'm all over the place, you know what I mean? But whenever I'm interested in something, I try to get good at it. And so that's really who SoloCelo is. As far as where my name came from, I had more names than anyone. I had the most trouble picking a name. I mean, like, there was a point where I was just Marcelo, and then there was a point where I was like, as an A, I put an X, and so it was like MXR space Cello, and then there was a point where I was like Lil Sweet XX, and then there was a point where I was Lil Sweet Tart, and there was a point where, and that all came from like slang that me and my friend group used, because when something sweet is something that's like lucky, or something that's like, I don't know, just like good or something. But then I realized that sweet to the rest of the world means gay, and I didn't want to be a little gay. Nothing against gay people. I was just saying, like, I didn't want to be a little gay. So I was like nameless for a little bit, like a couple months. And this story is a little longer, but basically we had a manager who lived in LA. And he was really dope. Love to him. Sean Cohen. He's like the chief A&R at Elektra Records right now. He's really dope. But basically, he was marketing us to all these labels as like a boy band or a group. And I really didn't want to do that. Since the beginning, we were just a collective. So after he left, because he got a job opportunity to be A&R, so he left, and power to him. I mean, we were not mad at all. It was just kind of like, what, at first, but totally understand. I basically went solo because I had this opportunity to reinvent myself and also like leave that group idea. And so I just became SoloCelo at that point, and that was like late. That was like mid last year. So that's really where that came from. And then the cello part just comes from my government name, Marcelo. I'm from Chicago. I'm from the South Side, like the Hyde Park, Bronzeville area, but mostly in Hyde Park because that's where I would go to like hang out and stuff, like on 53rd and stuff, because that's they really developed that area into sort of like a mini downtown. So, but yeah, I'm from over there, and I mean, forever. I've been working on music since I could remember, but not seriously. Like I wasn't trying to be a rapper since I was 5. But like I was always like I had GarageBand on my dad's computer, and I was always making like trash beats with the loops. I thought they were fire at the time, but they were not. But I was just like putting loops together, and I always had rhythm, so I was just like, putting stuff together and making cool stuff, and et cetera, et cetera. And then I made a couple like rap songs when I was in middle school for like projects, because that's always like everyone knew me as someone who like created things. So I was always making like shitty music videos. Like we recorded them on iPads. It was terrible, but and I edited them on iMovie on the iPad. It was awful. It was terrible. Artists that inspire me, I would say Uzi, cause I honestly didn't really get into rap until really late. I was listening to like all the stuff that my dad would listen to because I mean like what other choice do you have? But a lot of people started like finding their favorite music real early, and I didn't really find it till like freshman year. But when Uzi came out, I mean it just blew my mind because I've never heard anything like it before. Like the mix between actually spitting and like snapping, but also singing and still snapping while you're singing. I was like, wow, that's crazy. And then I also remember like in middle school, like Speaker Knockers was crazy. Like he was so big in middle school, and so yeah, Speaker Knockers definitely opened my eyes to like singing and rap. And then Uzi just like put the nail in the coffin for that. I was like, wow, like you could really snap. And then of course X, because that complete 180 he did off of like what he blew up on, which is like the really angry yelling type of music. And then once he got on, he turned around and really made real music. Not that any other music is not real music. I hate when people say that. Like, oh, this is mumble rap, blah, blah, blah. Nah, fuck you, bro. Like, it's just music. It's just not what you like, but you don't have to say it's not music. But when he turned around and started really, like, singing and putting effort into his songs, that was really dope. Really dope, and that really inspired me. Okay, the best advice I ever received was actually not from, like, a person. I've gotten great advice from people. But the very best advice I ever received was in the last week of senior year, my economics teacher put on a video of like a TED Talk or whatever. Like it just, all right, it's your last week. Like you're about to start your first step in the world or whatever, right? And at first, nobody's listening, of course, because it's the last week. Everyone thinks they're hot shit, and I thought I was hot shit. So I was like, oh, no, fuck this. But then I was listening to it, and I was like, wow. And the guy on the TED Talk, he said, don't view walls. Like in any industry you start in, you're going to reach walls. And walls aren't there to keep you away from what you want to do. They're not there to keep you away from your goals, but they're there to help prove to you how badly you want that goal. People who get discouraged easily, they get to that wall and they're like, damn, I don't have money for Uber, I can't do the show, damn, and they walk away. But the people who really want that, the people who really want to do that show, the people who really want to like get that part in the movie, the people who really want that spot on the wall if you're a painter or whatever and you want the gallery opening or whatever, the people who get to that wall are going to find a way to get over it, get around it, get under it, or get through it. You know what I mean? And that was the best advice. I live by that. Like a just do it type of attitude. Don't let anything stop you. Especially fear. Because being scared to do something is the worst reason to not do something. It's the worst. My parents, man. I mean, like, they hate the music I make, but they love that I'm making it, and they love that I'm doing something and I'm not just a bum. And I mean, my friends who are also my team, you know, like my best friends are my producer and my manager. You know what I mean? Yeah, I mean those are my biggest supporters and my girlfriend. She loves everything I do, and she's not afraid to tell me if something's whack. And same with my manager and producer. They'll bake the fuck out of me if I'm tweaking. They'll bake the fuck out of me, and that's good though. You can't have yes men on your team, because then you're gonna make some basura and it's gonna be terrible. This is the good tattoo I got for the good intro music video. And I really wanted a scene where I was like doing a bunch of stuff. Like I went to a nail salon. I went to a nail salon. I went to a barber shop. I went to a tattoo parlor. And I feel like there was something. Oh, and I went to a restaurant. And then also like the big house at the end. But basically, I wanted to get a tattoo because I feel like it's just a memorable part of the video, and I wanted to show people that I'm like I really do this. Like I really want to be successful, and I'll do anything to sort of make a video iconic or anything, like how Tom Cruise does all his own stunts. Like he's really like a go for it type of actor, even if you don't like him as an actor. But I really want to show people that I'm a go for it type of artist. Like I'll do some crazy shit or some weird shit. Like I'll do anything that sort of makes a video pop out or be iconic or anything. Like I'm down for all ideas. What does SoloCelo do besides rap? Well,
Yo, what's up, y'all? It's SoloCelo, and I'm about to perform my first headlining show at the Args. Remember to be part 2 of my interview with UR Chicago. Slap!
yeah, 13.
Yo, bitch, yo, wait. I want 100 plaques. I'm like, give me that. Ain't no tip for tat. I just count what's in the bag.